love live television. Let's now give you news on the Law Society of Kenya, which today made good its threat to file a suit over increased traffic accident fatalities.
Now, the LSK has included the National Police Service Commission as respondents in the suit filed at the High Court that seeks a declaration that the traffic commandant is unfit to hold office.
LSK says there have been omissions, actions, abuse of power and gross neglect of constitutional and statutory duties by the commandant.
Now, it further seeks an order directing the Police Service Commission to sack Kimaru as an employee of the service. LSK said that the commandant had failed to maintain law and order on the roads, protect life and property, investigate, prevent and detect traffic offences, apprehend offenders and enforce all traffic laws and regulations.
All right, from the matatu welfare, rather from issues of the road to matters of education, where the Kenya National Examination Council Secretary Paul Wasanga says it is a shame that teachers have now been identified as culprits in cheating in the ongoing KCSE examinations.
Now, he revealed that the principals of at least 5 schools have been apprehended in connection with the direct involvement in assisting candidates. 4 students from Kisumu University and 1 from Egerton University have also been arrested and will be arraigned in court for allegedly sending materials to teachers on various schools purporting to be real examination questions.
Noted with concern that most of the people who are perpetuating cheating in examinations are actually teachers themselves. Some of these teachers, especially from private schools, including head teachers, are opening examination packets just before the examination is done in the morning, and some manage to copy 1 or 2 questions and they start using them to solicit for funds. This is unfortunate, and the main culprits have been sambassaring some of this information, and we are also concerned with the high number of university students who have taken to this trend of cheating candidates by sambassaring wrong information, and sometimes when they are able to get a question immediately it has been opened, they push it to candidates. They are charging as little as 50 shillings. Arrests have been made. We have arrested one by the name Moses Mumo Moya, a Kisumu University student, Vincent Magembe, a Kisumu University student, Noah Okoth Ojwang, a Kisumu University student, Nicholas Oboto Obongo, Kisumu University student, Onesimus Mutua, Egerton University, who was sending materials all the way to Kisau Girls in Makueni County, Brown Omondi, a PTA school secondary teacher of Rwanda Secondary School in Nyakach, Homa Bay. He has been sending extracts of fake and other examination materials, including some that he has received just before the examinations start, to the Kisumu students so that they can sambasa.
To other matters now, the driver of the bus that was yesterday involved in the collision with a train at Mutindwa has been charged at a Makadara court with 11 counts of traffic offences. The charges include 9 counts of causing death through dangerous driving and 2 counts of blocking a railway line. Edward Githai also faces another charge of driving without a public service vehicle licence. 12 passengers in the minibus were killed after the train rammed into the bus. According to the eyewitness accounts, the driver overlapped and attempted to jump the level crossing to beat the oncoming train. The Matatu Welfare Association says PSV operators should no longer sit back and pretend that all is well and on our roads with the continued use of rise of road carnage. Now, they urged SACCOs to crack the whip on reckless drivers.
It's a high time the PSV investors, through the PSV SACCOs and company leaders and management committees, take charge and assert their authority on effective and safe PSV operations in their areas of jurisdiction. SACCOs and company leaders must vet their drivers and conductors before employment. They should employ only qualified persons who are sober and disciplined.
Today you don't see Omoina. They have all been recalled at the traffic headquarters for scrutiny. That's the kind of road safety checks we want. Yeah, so that at least ionekana kama were they fully compliant? Were they complying with the rules and regulations?
What is the government's official stand on withdrawal from the ICC, and what exactly is the opposition coalition's official position on the ICC push? And these are questions whose answers may not be so simple, as Edith Kimani now reports.
In September this year, an emergency session was called in Parliament to debate Kenya's stand on the Rome Statute. On this day, it became clear that the ICC debate had split the National Assembly right down the middle.
Owners of Project ICC have today, the 5th of September 2013, they have walked out because they cannot watch a country redeeming its independence.
We said this thing requires a bipartisan approach. You may think you have the numbers, but your numbers may lead you to hell. Your numbers may lead you to hell. Numbers are only good when they are used correctly.
Aware their numbers would not win them the debate, the minority opted to walk out.
Those of you who should withdraw quietly, leave the rest.
Before that emergency session, members of the CORD coalition told of how they had approached Jubilee for bipartisan talks on the same. But on Tuesday this week, CORD made it clear they no longer need Jubilee to endorse their position that Kenya should remain a signatory to the Rome Statute.
We are prepared to have a structured and constructive engagement with both the government and the international community within the context of the Rome Statute.
Political commentator Jared Okello says the quest for a common position on the Hague-based court is motivated by politics.
It would be in the best interest of Raila Odinga for these cases to go full hog, and that the reality shall ultimately be revealed.
Observers say that it will also not hurt CORD's profile now that the church has deliberately or not made a similar stand on the ICC issue. CORD is, however, finding it nearly impossible to craft a united front on the ICC.
Sisi wenyewe tunasimama airport, hata kama wewe mwenyewe ukitaka, we don't allow you to go because of sovereignty.
We talked to Kaiseri today, Wednesday. He has totally a different position, playing a different ball game altogether.
With the November 12th trial date fast approaching, President Uhuru Kenyatta is under intense pressure to make a decision on the attendance or otherwise of his trial. Jubilee has asked the president to snub the hearings, and CORD wants the president to honor the summons. The president has sent his Foreign Affairs Chief Amina Mohammed to join 4 other members from the African Union's Executive Council in New York to push for a deferral ahead of November 12th. Elsewhere, the Transition Authority Chairman Kinodhia Wamwangi has now called for an arbitration team to be put in place to broker a deal between the MCAs and the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. Meanwhile, the speakers of the county assemblies have urged the Salaries Commission to ensure that the MCAs are sufficiently remunerated. But SRC Chairperson Sarah Serem maintains that a job re-evaluation is necessary before salaries can be reviewed.
Transition Authority, therefore, urges the 2 parties, that is the county assemblies and the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, to address this deadlock with the sobriety, urgency, and the finality, knowing that the country we all cherish, and especially the functioning of the county government, is now threatened with imminent collapse.
The job evaluation exercise is expected to determine the comparable worth of the offices and produce a rationalized, harmonized, defensible, and equitable grading structure. The results will therefore be used to grade the positions. The exercise will, in the long run, enable the Commission and the government in particular to effectively address wage bill management challenges.
Compliance deadlines are threatened because the Assembly are on a go-slow. As we sit here, we must remember that service delivery to 40 million Kenyans is being compromised daily by this delay. It is my prayer that appropriate differentials will be restored to produce satisfactory level of remuneration and benefits appropriate for these office holders who have heavy executive responsibilities.
Let's go to Kisumu County. 2 suspected thugs were lynched in Kibuya Market in Kisumu City this morning after traders allegedly caught them stealing from their stalls before official business hours. Kibuya is the biggest open-air market in Eastern Central Africa and has long been a target due to the large cash transactions that take place between wholesalers and retailers catering for customers from the entire city. Police arrived on the scene after the incident and have already taken the bodies to the morgue in Nyanza General Hospital.
Security imekuwa mbaya Kisumu sana. Sasa tunaomba serikali atusaidie. Tunaumia kila siku na wezi. Leo mimi niliamka asubuhi kukuja sokoni napata kama wameua watu wawili walikuwa wanasemekana ni wezi.
Wao wa kijeshi. Asikia ni mbaya sana kuliko uwezo bila amenona ambapo anakula cha bure si tu wafanya kazi ukata bao ni ngumu boss. Asini sasa wanakuja tuibia. Sasa wengine wako hapa ndani wapata kifo tu.
Let's stay in Kisumu, where the Governor Jack Ranguma has held a meeting with the county's security chief in an effort to find a solution to the crime wave that swept across Kisumu County over the last 2 months. KTN's Fredo Mulo brings us the details.
More importantly today, the committee that brings together the governor and various arms of the national security apparatus gathered amidst heightened insecurity across the county in Chemelil, Nyakach and Maseno areas. As things turned out, their in-tray was definitely full.
One of the things we discussed today is the fear that is in the minds of the citizens of Kisumu. That sometimes when they give information, that information is conveyed by people who they think are the policemen to the culprits and who eventually run away and then they are not caught. We are developing a framework to ensure that things like that do not happen.
Incidents of cattle rustling have hit an all-time high in Nyakach, while skirmishes over land ownership between Luo and Nandi residents have taken center stage in Chemelil. On Tuesday, students of Maseno University took to the streets after attacks against those who stay outside the main campus became unbearable. From Kisumu City, I am Fredo Mulo.
From Tanzania who were busted in Mombasa on allegations of being in the country illegally, as hired beggars have been arraigned in court today. They are charged with being in the country legally and smuggling money. They pleaded guilty for the charge of being in the country legally, but some pleaded not guilty for smuggling money. Now, the case is still in session. Meanwhile, officers from the Mombasa County Inspectorate last night intercepted a Nairobi-bound bus which was sneaking out of another batch of disabled persons. Now, the officers believe that the disabled, who are also Tanzanian nationals, were being sneaked out of Nairobi a day after some of them were arrested in Mombasa as part of a begging syndicate. Now, most of them claim that they were cheated to come to Kenya to help them, only to be turned into beggars. The money they collect is split between them and their handlers. The latter, who take the land share officers, are still pursuing, and the masterminds of the syndicates who are still at large.
Nimekuja peke yangu. Kutoka wapi? Kutoka Tanzania. Na ulikuwa mnapanda gari mnaenda wapi? Tunaenda Nairobi kwenda nyumbani.
Now, I don't know if you may remember a story KTN brought to you about 4 weeks ago about an old man from Nyanza who reunited with his family after 70 years. Well, sadly, that old man has passed on only 1 month after being reunited with his family. KTN's Rachel Menza has a sad story of Juma Omolo Mwangi.
Inaenda mahali fulani. Hiyo. Natoa hii.
Anashina nani hapa?
Ana huyu.
Kali bila wewe. Ndio cha wako ina kwake.
Kuja kuangalia. Sibikinya kuja. Sasa ndio kukata.
Step ingine sasa kanisa hawezi chukua, maana yake Juma sasa ako na watu yao. Kama ni bereni, kanisa ndiye ingekuwa na jukumu shauri, hakuna mwenye Juma, hakuna watu yao. Lakini sasa sina goja watupe ripoti.
And his name, apologies, is John Omolo Swangi and not Mwangi, as I had earlier read. But reports just in indicate that radio journalist Joshua Sang's request to the ICC to excuse him for trial to attend his 6-year-old daughter's graduation has been denied.
Meanwhile, Deputy President William Ruto arrived at the Schiphol airport in the Netherlands early Thursday morning. Upon his arrival, the Deputy President went straight to the International Criminal Court to attend his trial session as he had been directed by the judges.
Ruto had been excused for 3 days from the War Crimes Court trial to hold brief for President Uhuru Kenyatta, who had traveled to Rwanda for a regional meeting. Now, Ruto's application for excusal cited constitutional provisions that bar the absence of both the president and the deputy president from the country at the same time.
Ruto's trial ran from Monday to Wednesday without his presence, with his defense team led by counsel Karim Khan, spearheading his defense against prosecution's witness 6. Meanwhile, the United Nations Security Council is expected to consider the Africa Union's petition for the deferral of the 2 Kenyan cases at the ICC.
Kenyan Foreign Affairs Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohamed is currently in the United States to lobby for that deferral. Well, we take a short commercial break, and when we come back, we do have business and the sports.
Right, we do also know some bit of good news that the Kenyan inflation numbers slowed down to just about 7.76%. Not so good, but not too bad either.
Welcome back to KTN Newsdesk. We're glad you're still watching.
Right, let's move to business, quick and painless. Kenya's October inflation has dropped to 7.76% from September's 8.29%. The Kenya National Bureau of Statistics attributes 0.53% inflation drop to a marginal decrease in food, energy and transport costs. Reduced prices of diesel and petrol in the month of October also helped lower the transport index. Between September and October, food and non-alcoholic drinks reduced by 0.24%, while the cost of energy declined by 0.16% as a result of lower electricity, cooking gas and kerosene prices. Now, Kenya's inflation has been on an upward rise since November 2012. Right, you probably have seen this on social media. Naivas Supermarket will be opening its first regional branch in Ethiopia in the coming days. The retail chain, currently third in Kenya in terms of market share, will this mark its onslaught in the regional expansion. Speaking when they opened the doors to the latest branch to the public, Naivas Supermarket chain chairperson Simon Mukuha also said they were eyeing an additional 50 branches in Kenya in the coming days. Now, the new outlet is located at the Mountain Mall along the Thika Superhighway and brings the retail chain battle to the doorsteps of Uchumi, which is only 100 meters away, and Nakumatt, the market leader rather, that is about a kilometer away at the TMR Mall.
Our customers, we just welcome them. We feel they have supported us all this long, and we are still to give them more. We have spent millions putting up such as this one, it will require you to have at least not less than 150 million. And count the malls that we have been opening, they are big, like the one in Westland and so forth. We are spending a lot. And I might not be able to tell you exactly how much, but we are spending a lot of money.
Right, indeed, FMCGs are the driver to Africa's economy going forward. Let's go to sports.